I love refrigerators.
Well, howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and to all of our non-binary friends. And welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. Thumbs up. Yeah, it is. It's wet. It's rainy. It's kind of chillish. You'll notice I'm wearing an undershirt. Well, yeah, an undershirt. Yeah, an undershirt, middle shirt, and then an outer shirt. I'm going to be going out to Walmart here pretty soon, as well as some other. I'm going to be going downtown, as it is. I'll talk about that. So I'm going to be going out. I'm not going to be wearing all this, but I went out to talk to my sister, and it's chill enough, and I don't do much. So I get cool, but as soon as I go walking, oh my gosh, I got a lot of lean muscle in my legs, so I heat up quick. So I can only wear this and this when I go out. Now that I'm done bragging about that, it is a brand new day as stated, and it started off rough. For whatever reason, I have a leg cramping problem. That usually when I'm warmer and lying down, or if my legs are bent too much when I'm lying down. If I bend my legs at the knees and then draw them closer up toward my chest, like a semi-fetal position, my legs are going to cramp up fast and hard. I was once lying on my bed wearing just the clothing here, and I had my knees bent like that, wasn't thinking. By the time I realized what was going on, it was hard to get off the bed because every muscle in my leg, from my hips down to my toes, both legs, were trying so hard to cramp. And if I moved my leg that way, it cramped like this. So move this way, it would cramp in the other direction. So you go against the cramp. It would cramp in whatever direction I moved. So that was fun. As it is this morning, I was just laying there, legs stretched out almost completely. And suddenly, my hamstring on my right leg, from my right up inner thigh against my hip, all the way down to my toe, went like this. You know what? I think we're going to cramp. But it happened about that fast. So I whipped myself onto my back and stretched my legs out hard. And I cut that off real fast, but you don't go back to sleep after that. So I've been up since 6 o'clock, and it is 10:53 right now. And as stated, I'm going to be walking downtown. One of the reasons I'm going to be walking downtown, number one, exercise. Number two, I watch a channel called The Dungeon Dive. Now, sometimes the guy covers stuff that just irritates me. And what I mean by that is, fairly recently he did a video on the 10 best board game dungeon crawl things you can buy. The problem is, so many of them were like the game Dungeon Quest, which I still have, lost a lot of the pieces, but I bought it back in the 1980s from Games Workshop. If you want to buy that now, it's going to cost you hundreds of dollars on eBay. And so many games that he said, oh, this is one of the better ones. I would look it up on, I don't use Google a lot anymore. I use DuckDuckGo. But no matter what engine I use, you search the name of the games and you can't buy them. If you're going to buy them, you have to buy them on a place like eBay. So that's great. Go out and tell people to go out and play these, but choose stuff that they can't. Joy? And there are a lot of games where it looked good and you went to their website because that's the only place that they would sell it, and the website is just garbage. And half of them, they said, yeah, this is our product, and there's no way to buy it. They didn't have a buy button. So I don't know. Thumbs up for that. Still though, went to my storage unit last night and grabbed a whole bunch of the dice that I had there. One of the reasons I want to do that is for games like Deckbox Dungeon. What you do for your character is you're supposed to set them down. And then they have a health card that you have underneath them that you move to track the health. You move the card up and down because it has numbers on it. Same thing for treasure, same thing for magic. You've got cards that you move up and down. But that's moving a lot of cards underneath each other, and stuff can get all moved around. The guy that does Dungeon Dive, when he was showing off Deckbox Dungeon, also showed off the way he has it. And he has these little wooden pieces with a whole bunch of grooves cut into them, like you can find almost anywhere, and then he just stuffed the cards into those. And then the cards stood up. Now, you didn't get the information at the bottom, like health and all that. But if you're already dedicated to having the cards stand up in front of you, great idea. He used a 20-sided die to track treasure, a 20-sided die to track your magic, and then a whatever-sided die to track health. Because some of the characters you play with have like 4 hit points, and some of them have 8. Now, they have various abilities to offset that, but yeah, so I like that idea. My bloody dentures, and I have to use denture cream, which means that all sorts of extra sticky saliva that gathers up. So I want to go down. There is a thrift shop downtown that is big-ish, and then it's got a lot of junk, a lot of game stuff, including electronic stuff, but also physical game board stuff. And I want to go there and see if they got anything that I could use to pop the cards into. Thing is, it seems to be more of a passion project for them, in that they only accept cash, and they're not open 7 days a week. They're not even open 5, they're about 4. It's like Wednesday, well, it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I don't know if they're open Sunday. And half the time when I go there, they're shut for some reason or another, even on a day then they would be open. But it's been a while since I've been, even downtown properly. I'm on the opposite side. It's 3 miles to get to downtown, 3 miles to get back, a whole 6-mile run. So it's harder to get downtown than it is to just run around in this area. Still, want to get there. Gotta take my umbrella. Gonna go on walkies. I'm gonna hopefully go on the path, which is always dangerous because, you know, I am a full risk. And if something happens, I don't want to make it difficult for emergency people to get to me. But at the same time, I want to exercise. So, and that's the other thing. I got to call up my doctor on Monday, make another appointment. Because when I talked to him, I said, I have a bunch of things I want to talk about, but is it better if I make one appointment to talk about a bunch of things, or if I have 3 things to talk about, make 3 separate appointments? And it's not his fault, but he said it's better to do 3 separate appointments because insurance-wise, they've got to get through as many people as they can. But I gotta talk to him on Monday because, well, make my appointment, because after all, he asked me, do I have any questions on the on my whole appointment time? When he threw at me the whole, hey, by the way, you had a heart attack in the past, evidence of myocardial infarction on your EKG. So I got questions now. I didn't at the time, but I got questions now. Like, you know, it said if it happened, you know, the morbidity of silent heart attacks is pretty much the same as loud heart attacks. And then in 10 years, you're going to be dead. Half of the people that have that die. You're not going to be dead automatically. Well, if this happened a long time ago, I'm not that worried. But I can't remember if I mentioned this before, but nobody has ever mentioned this to me before. But the fact that he only brought it up in passing could mean it's been a long time and they just never mentioned it because, hey, I'm older, that sort of thing is expected as you get older, so it's here. Obviously, you've known about it, we're not going to talk about it. Or it could be the last EKG I had was last year and there was no evidence of it. Now there is. That would be bad. Especially since looking up on further reference about information on the whole silent heart attack thing, I've forgotten the information that I was even going to talk about it, but it wasn't good. Oh yeah, it was so easy to misunderstand what's happening because it can feel like a a pulled muscle on your chest or your back. Oh boy, you know what I feel all the time and have since around 1982? Feelings like pulled muscles in my back and in my chest. I have scoliosis. I'm always feeling ouchies. I've been going to the doctor and talking about the ouchies that I have in my back. How am I supposed to determine what is just a normal background pain and a pain that I should be going and watching about? So when I get that appointment, I want to say, okay, can we do a full workup on my heart now? Because I don't want to just kick off in 10 years if I can avoid it, or less than 10 years. I mean, I've been damn lucky in my life. I shouldn't be alive now. So the fact that I am is all just gravy. But if I can, I would like to continue surviving as long as possible, long as comfortably possible. I mean, when death comes a knocking at the door, there's not going to be a whole lot I can do. And I've had, as I've been talking about here, a major existential crisis going on where I had thought I had the whole, you're comfortable with the idea of dying, settled. And then just this last year, it ain't been settled at all. So I've been having to deal with the whole cessation of metabolic processes concept. Again, I mean, I've dealt with this and I thought I had dealt with it, but nope, now I'm back to, worrying about going out walking and like my heart just did the flippy floppy now, the PVC thing. Or it just gets you in mind of, when it happens, it's gonna be hopefully along the lines of feeling dizzy, starting to pass out, but then realizing, but it doesn't gonna matter because realize it or not, you're still gonna pass out, and then you ain't never gonna wake up again because now you're just meat that's starting to rot. Sure, it takes time, but and I'm suddenly again, as mentioned, not comfortable with the whole idea of cessation of metabolic processes. Life is life, though. But once again, I can't remember what got me thinking about this, but I was out of walking and thinking about this, and it's like, yeah, we are, again, our bodies are bone mechs. We are bone mechs. We are powered and we are armored by meat. And like they say, when you got the PVC things going on, our body is hardwired to go, anytime something happens. And with a premature ventricular contraction, yeah, there's a sort of moment. Let's see if I can remember even what I was talking about. Oh yes, bone mechs. And we, the people, well, we're just the software that's running on the computer inside the cockpit. We are bone mechs. Thumbs up for that. I like being a bone mech, and I want to continue my metabolic processes as long as possible. I like to armor my bone mech with meat. It is good to be made of meat. Which, hopefully I'm going to be, I'm not quite sure why the whole being made of meat reminded me of this. Hopefully today or tomorrow I'm going to get the next recording done for the 4 Against Darkness with my 4 characters that are running around in the dungeon. I need to come up with a settlement name for the town. I just realized I hadn't even done that. All this work I've done on sociology and all this, and I don't even know the name of the town that they're in. But, really quick, going off on a side tangent of that, SQUIRREL, love ADHD. Towns and settlements, going off on solo RPG stuff again. In the supplement, Troublesome Towns, something Troublesome Towns for 4 Against Darkness, which is a big old book on how to develop a troublesome town. A bit of rice flopping loose from under my dentures there. Yay. They mention that it's a book about troublesome towns. because towns that aren't troublesome, they're known as that town back there, or that place, or remember that town a couple of days back? There's nothing memorable about them. The troublesome towns, you remember those. You have adventures in those. They're memorable. So they've got that whole book on towns and adventures and things. And I can't even remember why I brought that up, because again, I love ADHD. It was a real point about towns and making up adventures and such like that, and all sorts of a lot of talk, because I talked about the sociology thing. Well, mention it. So this piece of rice again. I am so sorry. I had rice some time ago, and I gotta glue my dentures in hard. If I take these out, then it is a pain to get them back in properly, and at least go up clean to my upper, my upper mandible here. And it's not great because it feels weird, so I want to peel it out of my mouth, which means the dentures don't fit well again afterward. So I gotta leave them glued in, which means if rice or something gets caught along the edges or underneath it, it'll squeeze out as I'm talking. Yay! TMI. Now you know more about people who wear dentures than you ever wanted to know. Hopefully you will continue watching. And if you are still watching, since I'm going to have to suddenly stop talking about the game stuff because I cannot remember where I was going. ADHD. At the store though, I did purchase not just one container, 2-pound container of brown jasmine rice, but two 2-pound containers of brown jasmine rice, because they didn't have the 5-pound containers. Oh, it's upside down. Didn't have the 5-pound containers of jasmine brown rice. Because yeah, I am still fixated thoroughly on rice. It's still, food-wise, all I can think about. If I don't have rice, I am thinking about making rice. If I have rice, I'm thinking about eating rice. If I am eating rice, I'm enjoying eating the rice and thinking about how sad it's going to be when I get full and I can't eat any more rice. So I gotta get more spices because I've been using them up in the cooking. So I need more rosemary, more thyme. I gotta get more sweet basil. Oh, it's just good stuff. I've already bought more rice vinegar because I use a lot of the rice vinegar making rice. So good stuff all around. Yay! I just wanted to show off all the rice because I got rice galore. I've been going through my 5-pound bag of plain jasmine rice, and I'm almost done with that. So, but yeah, I can't even remember why I was bringing up towns. I mean, I was talking about my characters, being in the settlement, and I can't remember the name for the settlement, and actually now I remember it. Magic, because they have troublesome towns, but a lot of the things are like in video games, older towns in video games that were just menu towns. They would show you a picture of the town on the screen and you just click from the menu, like blacksmith or shops. It was just, your town is just a selection of like 6 places you can go. 4 Against Darkness is that way, in that if it's a non-troublesome town, if it's just that place we've been at, I can't remember the name because we went there and nothing exciting happened, they're menu towns. You just go through a list of actions that is like, oh, okay, I buy all this stuff, I spend these points, I sell this stuff. You don't go to any of these places or go to any of the shops or barter with any of the people, because why? It's a menu town. There's no need. The troublesome town stuff like that is the non-menu town part of it. And so I've got to make up a whole place for the settlement there, because after all, they're not dropped off. You have to immigrate to the continent of Carthage, and then from there, the people in that area were recruited by this other merchant group to settle further south and set up a new settlement there. And so the merchants aren't putting up a lot of it themselves. They don't have an army. They don't have the adventurers. They're saying, hey, if you want to come down and do security and do all this, be a man-at-arms, woman-at-arms, whatever, you know what I meant. I did 1960s when I was born. I have gendered language, whether I like it or not, that crops up. But if you want to come here and do this, you will get paid. We won't pay you, but there's a lot of money running through this area. Someone will pay you because security is needed. If you want to be an adventurer, come on down this way because we will pay prime money for good stuff you bring us. So all these people are showing up there on a get rich type of situation where the merchants say, bring us junk, we will buy it. And so it is a provisionary thing where there's like mercenary scouting. They're hoping that, merchant scouting, they're hoping that what is found will be something that they can really sell. And so right now, they're willing to pay extra to get it on the whole, what's going to come afterward will really make it worth it. So people are going out and they're adventuring and they're bringing junk back to sell to the merchants. And so that's the whole basis of what's happening here, which makes it so that even though Compton knows that the three other people in the group he's with, the warrior that they were best friends with all their lives before immigrating to Carthage, was dragged off into the woods and eaten alive. But they're all going back out because, hey, one of the things about adventurers is you are a thrill seeker, an adrenaline junkie. You wouldn't be a player character if you weren't. You wouldn't be a murder hobo if you weren't. Normal people don't go out and put themselves into, if I die, this creature is going to devour my carcass situations. You have to be a special kind of person to put yourself into the situation where if you win, you won. And if you lost, you're just meat for the creature's belly. It takes a special mindset for that. And murder hobo characters, player characters, have that mindset. Thrill seekers, adrenaline junkies, the kind of people that would fit in perfectly on the razor's edge in my setting. So thumbs up on that. Well, I'm at 23 minutes, so each and every one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up and thank you. I'm going to start, I can't do it today, but I'm going to start reading off names because I can't put a list up here, but I'm going to put down names. So maybe I'll even put some names up and read them as an addendum afterwards. So if I do, they're here. Well, hello. It's time for the reading of the Patreon patrons part, where hopefully I'm doing this properly. We have Alexander Camacho, Nexor EH, Ribser57, Thomas S., RJ Mitchell, Zen Seth, Eric Pardo, Frederick Nordstrom, Alexander Taylor, Brittany, David Ordway. Now these are not all of them. These are just the first 10 off of my list up here. Thank you all so very, very much. I would put your name up on the list in text, but I cannot. So hopefully this is the next best thing. So thank you so much. You take care and have a very good day. And if they aren't, then I just pause for no good reason. But thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated to no end. For everybody that leaves me comments, thumbs up and thank you. I really can't answer as many as I like. I mean, every time I drop my arm like this is because, oh boy. And that's just from lifting it and doing this stuff. Typing is awful. Which makes editing so much fun too. Yay. But thumbs up and thank you so much. I answer as many as I can, but whether or not I answer yours, know that I read and appreciate each and every one of them. Thumbs up and thank you to no end. And of course, if you'd like to get something done today, but you can't, don't beat yourself up. It's not going to help you get it done next time. You're just going to keep following in the same rut, doing the same thing. Beat yourself up. Doesn't help you get stuff done. The next day, rinse and repeat. Try to take it easy on yourself. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. And then, of course, I might as well do this for the meme, too, because I was watching this, but it's... Thumbs up. Oh, boy. I need a silver mask for that one. You take care.